Sam specifically requested this people sitting on stairs. And now he asked this as we were trying to get to our brunch today, and the stairs were clogged because people were sitting on them. So 2 thoughts about people sitting on stairs. Firstly, I think we should try to accept people as they are and not assume we know what's going on with them, because that leads to sort of, and I don't like the label that much because it's super negative, but like ableist thinking, which is if you assume everyone is physically and emotionally and functionally able to do everything, then you make a lot of assumptions about them when they might be utilizing an accommodation. Now, stairs are not to be sat on. That's the rule. Fair enough. But maybe something just happened. Maybe you got devastating emotional news. Maybe someone incredibly close to you died and you just got a notification and you just collapse. But you happen to be on the stairs when it happens. And someone comes and maybe consoles you. And so they sit next to you to get at your level, you know, shoulder to cry on, put the arm around you for comfort, rub your back, whatever might help, provide some physical connection, emotional support. In a moment like that, you don't know. And so when you see someone sitting on the stairs, you might think to yourself, that lazy SOB. But they could be having the worst moment of their lives. And you could have no way of knowing that. So, something to consider. The people that we saw sitting on stairs, it was near the restaurant. And the restaurant, they've been really slow. The check-in times have been really inaccurate in the sense that you tend to wait 2 to 3 times longer than anything the app will tell you. So that was kind of a thing. And so the service in the restaurant being slow and people having to wait 3 times longer than estimated, if you got something in your app that says your table will be ready in less than 10 minutes, that's the lowest it gets. It goes from under 10 minutes to your table is ready. And once your table is ready, you have 10 minutes to get to the table before they give it away, according to the rules in the app. So if you have a mobility challenge, maybe you can't just run down there in 10 minutes. And so maybe as soon as you see, under 10-minute wait, maybe for you, if you need a little extra time or it's really far away, that might be the time to head to the restaurant for you. That would be fair. Makes perfect sense. Totally reasonable, right? So then you get there, you end up waiting 20 or 30 minutes, even though it's supposed to be less than 10. And let's say that you're not fully physically able. Maybe you have a bad hip or something. It could be something as simple as that. Maybe you twisted your ankle in port the previous day. Too many of us can relate to that. I've done it. Sam's done it. So standing could be hard, but you can't just be whipping back and forth to your cabin that could be halfway across the ship. And where we were, there was no seating nearby where our restaurant is located. It was like deck 3. So you see the stairs, and no one's using that part of the stairs, and so maybe you just sit down to take a load off. And so, yes, technically, you're not supposed to sit on the stairs. Now, if you're sitting on the stairs because sitting's better than standing, or you feel like it, or this is your answer to a hidden deck and you want to get away from the crowds and the music, the whatever, no. There's other places you can go. You can go to the plaza, you can go to deck 5, you can go back to your cabin, you can go to Lido. There's tons of, you can go to the hidden deck where there is a bench. So there's just no need to sit on the stairs if you are completely able to, stand or just not be on the stairs. But if you're emotionally devastated or if you're physically unable to not, be there, I think that there is grace in allowing for that. And on Facebook, whether in our group or elsewhere, on Twitter, on the internet, we often jump to the worst assumption. And I hope that it hasn't become a habit over the course of the pandemic when we were not physically connected to people in the same way that we were. It's much easier to see the reality on someone's face, potentially, particularly now that very few people wear masks. So, I'm going down the stairs, and I see a couple of people sitting on the stairs. It's kind of blocking, and there's a slowdown or whatever, and maybe I'm in a bit of a rush, and I get annoyed. I'm looking at the back of their heads, and I'm thinking vile thoughts, maybe, or snarky thoughts, whatever. And then as I pass them, I look down, and I see that they're crying. Or I see pain on their face, physical discomfort. I don't know about you, but I can't help but feel sympathy and kind of adjust. And a little shame and guilt follows. Well, oh man, I was just thinking the most vile, snarky things about this person who's having a much worse time than I am. Either due to a physical injury, disability, emotional crisis, whatever it is. So don't sit on the stairs if there's any other alternative. But if you're physically needing to do so if you just can't stand anymore. I understand. And I think that rather than going through that emotional roller coaster I might go through, where I think the vile thoughts, then I feel the shame, let's skip to the end. Let's skip the vile thoughts. Let's skip the shame. And let's just go to some sense of acceptance. Accept people as they are, situations as they are, and then adjust yourself. There's people sitting on the stairs on this side. I will go down the other side. Oh, there are people sitting on the stairs. The other side there is no other side, maybe, and there's parts of the ship where that's the case. And maybe, okay, I've got 10 minutes to get to my table, and it's now going to take me 3 minutes to get there instead of 2. That's okay. That's okay. A little understanding, a little positivity out into the world. I think, as I said earlier, not particularly religious necessarily, but a lot of religions encapsulate this sense of, I think, spirituality and acceptance. And so whatever your belief system is, whatever you think, I would beg of you to not jump to the worst conclusion every time, and then invite this negativity and vile thoughts or whatever into yourself, because it poisons you, not them. You could yell at them, start a fight. That's probably not great. You're not going to feel good after that. Eventually, you're going to look back on how you treated that person, potentially. Now, maybe they're just kids and they're screwing around, and you told them stop screwing around, and then maybe they hustled off, and you used your parent or teacher voice and your authoritative voice, and you got them to behave. And okay, that's one thing, and so that's fine, that's cool. You're probably not going to feel bad about that. You probably feel good about that. I'll be like, hey, I saved the staff having to do it. And so try to judge those situations with an open mind and not immediately assume the absolute worst, and then just go to your absolute worst in response. Would be my thinking. So I don't know exactly why Sam wanted me to talk about this. I just, hopefully, that provides maybe a slightly different perspective, that we can all have a little bit more understanding when we encounter situations like that, because a twisted ankle can happen to any of us at any time, I have certainly learned. And so I think it's much better to be surrounded by people who are understanding, keeping an open mind about that, rather than people who are going to jump on you because you are not affording them every convenience in life. You are inconveniencing them ever so slightly with your particular need. And I think that we need to be a little bit more understanding than that. So on that, request for calm, which I'm requesting for calm, forgiving, accepting rational thought on the internet. This is not going to go well. I am not going to make it. I anticipate the hate emails and comments, and I might just even read them for fun.